after the first game against BC last week. Countering him with different look than he was anticipating. Second and 2. Side down the deck. And is up off top. It is. Great catch. Weston Dressler to move the chains.
Well, it was a great catch, Chris, because they weren't ready to throw and catch that football at that point. Due to the pressure off the edge, it looked like Darian Durant had to rush the throw coming from his right side. Play action there, and you can see the pressure coming off the edge. Now, he had to rush that one, and Weston Dressler just reacts and moves the chains. A big first down for Saskatchewan.
They're clear. Doug Berry is a key adjustment here for Montreal. We haven't seen him rush in like this against the Red Riders. Well, this direction here, Durant will take off and now going. Wide open back here. Jason Clement. And the Red Riders finally get traction on offense for the Montreal 32.
And when this Rough Rider offense does get going, it's usually because Darian Durant starts moving around. He starts running. We saw the first throw of this drive where he got the edge and threw on the run to the right side. Now he's going to buy time with his legs again on the play action, on the play all the way around to carry Coke. Little fake there. You see him sprint out, move to his left, get on the run. That opens up a receiver because the defenders have to react to him running.
33 for Claremont, who was the overtime hero in the Western semifinal with a touchdown against BC. West Gates with his head down, marches to the 25. 6 for West Gates.
These two teams have put up some big offensive numbers when they played each other in the regular season. Double overtime game to kick things off on Canada Day in July. Doug Berry, the offensive coordinator, has got this offense rolling, and he's got it rolling, Chris, because he's moving Darian Durant around in the pocket. Full roll, letting him scramble out and extend the play.
Interesting to see it. Darian Durant takes off. He said he watched film of 2008 and saw Henry Bruce beat the outlet to his legs. Now, Randy Francouz is the top receiver in the Canadian Football League and the top Canadian with his first round.
Good matchup here. Billy Parker, the halfback, at 6 foot, 200 pounds, and Andy Francouz at 6'4". Good matchup as he just bangs a hard cut from that outside. On that right leg inside, a contested catch because Billy Parker's in pretty good position.
So the Rough Riders on the march. 6th play of the drive. In the final minute of this opening quarter, first and 10 at the 14. Durant looks for Dressler. Incomplete. Chip Cox might have got a hand on it.
Now we're starting to see the type of game that we saw when these two teams met in the regular season, and take a look at some of the numbers they put on the board when they faced each other. When you look at those numbers, we're talking about 2 games. Just shy of 2,000 yards of offense in 2 games, 100 first downs and 161 points. They've been shootouts that have gone down to the wire.
The Canada Day Classic, the 3rd highest scoring game in CFL regular season history. 2nd and 10. Durant the pressure into the back of the end zone. And incomplete flags down. Getzlaff, the intended target, a flag at the back of the end zone, and quite frankly surprised one wasn't called earlier because it looked like Getzlaff was getting held up by the jersey.
Passing return. Montreal number 11. Foul in goal. Automatic first down on the 1-yard line.
Chip Cox called. Montreal led in that type of penalty this year.
Yeah, that's been an issue for the Montreal Alouettes. Penalties overall, and specifically pass interference penalties. And there's contact made by Chip Cox a couple of times. First of all, you see where he gets his right arm across the face of Chris Getzlaff as the ball arrives. He also tucked on his jersey about 4 yards earlier than that. And now they're on the goal line.
Final play, first quarter, and the Rhino team is in for Saskatchewan. Getting Peaks. Touchdown.
Here we go.
15 minutes of football
on the books, and both teams have major scores. West Cape's there going over the top. Gets great elevation right here. Up over the top of that front seven and crosses the plane. The CFL touchdown leader in 2010. His Peter. Each with 15 rushing touchdowns, 16 overall, and Warren Keene has the extra point. 15 minutes in the box. And Coburn. A touchdown for Coburn. A touchdown for Cates. And the Alouettes have a 1-point lead. Type of game thought we would see between these two teams, 7 first downs each. The one number I think people should keep their eye on is those rushing yards by the Montreal Alouettes. Early in that first quarter, they established Avon Coburn. Keep our eye on that one.
Looked like it was going to be a little bit lopsided for most of the quarter until that final 75-yard touchdown march, and a little momentum off that missed field goal.
Yeah, it's surprising how sometimes you can grab momentum by the mistake from the opponent, and that's what happened there. The Montreal Alouettes miss a field goal, and I wonder, Saskatchewan remembers back to last year and says, yeah guys, let's not have that happen again. Get back out there and let's get a drive together, because that offense really wasn't going until then, and then Darian Durant drove it down the field to match the score.
Well, David Duval, just 6 of 11 here in Commonwealth in his career. The Rough Rider TD ends a streak of 25 straight points for the Alouettes. In great cup competition against the Rough Riders. Here comes Mayplay on the return, and Neil Hughes with a solid hit at the 39. So 8 plays, 75 yards, and Cates with his 3rd postseason touchdown this year.
Now down in the goal line for Cates' touchdown, it's about how far and how low you get. Offensive linemen drive out, good leverage, and up over the top for West Cape. Back to work goes Anthony Calvillo.
Much formation to this near side. Calvillo looked that way and got down. There's Terrell Freeman, who has really become a force. Defensive player of the Western Final with 9 tackles and a quarterback sack.
Well, and let's not forget, for Saskatchewan, maybe the most important play is he comes off the edge. Terrell Freeman, number 50. He's going to come around and work on Avon Coburn, a mismatch that favors Saskatchewan. Let's not forget that fumble recovery by Terrell Freeman. Otherwise, it may not be done here.
Loss of 5. First sack of the game, 2nd and 15. 3-man rush, Calvillo is knocked down. Knocked down. That's Terrell Freeman again. What a force he has become for the Rough Riders defense.
Let's go back to that West Final and show you the game that Terrell Freeman had. You mentioned it, Chris, 9 tackles. He also had a sack on Henry Burris right here. And the biggest play of the game was that fumble recovery on the special team, bailing out Ryan Greismore and saving a Calgary touchdown when he recovered that fumble.
First 2 and out. Up the game for Montreal. And bouncing punt that is fielded by Dressler. And the Saskatchewan 40 Rough Riders with the ball when we return.
To introduce Wendy's Natural Cut Fries with sea salt, we've set up a human chain from coast to coast. So taste our best fries ever and pass them on. Pass them on. Share the news. We only use whole russet potatoes and sprinkle them with sea salt for a taste as real as it gets.
Oh, come on! Come on! Come on!
Finally, a fry worth sharing. Share the fries.
This is the best day of your life. The inferno in your chest, the surrender in your legs, and the belief in your heart that this could really be the end. But it's not. It's the beginning. The beginning of a story that will be yours to share forever. Canadian Club. Here's to adventure.
In recent tests, one car was deemed the 2010 best mid-size sedan. It wasn't the Ford Fusion. Definitely wasn't the Honda Accord or the Hyundai Sonata. And it wasn't the Subaru, Chevy, or Nissan. It was a 2010 Toyota Camry, touted as best mid-size sedan by Motor Trend.
Closed captioning of the 2010 Grey Cup on TSN is brought to you by the Plan by Investors Group, a personalized approach to financial planning.
So an 8-play, 75-yard touchdown drive on their last possession. The Rough Riders will go back to work on offense, starting at their own 42 after a 34-yard punt by Damon Duval. Leeds releases the Grey Coat, has it on the near side. Still going down to the 30 and brought down to the 28. And what an addition he has been since replacing the injured Rob Benedict.
Well, first of all, Kerry Coke is a guy that is not familiar to the Montreal Alouettes secondary. In the two games they played each other, he was not in the lineup for Saskatchewan. So that secondary unfamiliar with him, and watch the block he gets from his teammate in Weston Dressler. That's the key block on the outside on Mark Estelle. Gives him a chance. He breaks past that block and into the secondary.
40 for Coke to Weston Dressler at 5'7", 179. With the key block to Brigham, the red. Wide open man, but he overthrows Jason Clermont, who was loose on the far side of the field.
Weston Dressler, of course, who was not playing in the Grey Cup Championship or in the playoffs last year for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, loves to play against the Montreal Alouettes. In the last 3 games versus Montreal, he's had 30 catches for just over 500 yards and a couple of touchdowns. They have not figured out how to cover Weston Dressler yet. He made a nice block there.
2 catches in the big block so far in this game. 2nd and 10 for the Reds. Goes back to that far side. But again, it's been used. Driven back. Let's find out. Forward progress. Looks like the 20-yard line. And it's going to be 3rd and 2. So Ken Miller deliberates, but now sends out Warren Keene and the field goal unit.
Warren Keene has been a bit of an adventure. 60% of his kicks have gone through, but his longest just 25.
There are the numbers. Warren Keene, a late season addition when Luca Conchi was injured. In fact, Luca was here this week, had to go home today. He will undergo knee surgery tomorrow. Warren Keene will handle everything from 40 yards and in. Long field goals to be handled likely by Eddie Johnson. Keene for the lead, and he's got it. So the difference so far, Keene makes 1 from 27. Duval misses from 31.
Back in 1939, 2 young entrepreneurs started out with a little hardware store and a big idea. If they went the extra mile every day to help people build their dream, one day, they'd be as big as this country. Rona, truly Canadian.
Your father, he's the creator of this world.
Dad. Sam. Long time. You have no idea. So what happened? My creation was turned against me. He's planning something. I can't let that happen.
Here they come.
saving, leave the rest to us. Ramada Worldwide. Now do your thing for less. Save 20%.
It's the Moores 50% off winter sale. Designer suits, 50% off. Designer dress shirts, 50% off. Designer pants and outerwear, 50% off. Stylish sweaters, 50% off. Moores, well made, well priced.